says 3-0 right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, word. Oh my god, I can hear myself. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh.
I'm gonna do that. dude, dude, if someone makes a 3, I'm gonna go crazy. Click.
On defaults?
Yeah.
Oh, uh-huh. This one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hear now.
Alright.
I hear the game. Oh.
We're good?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me just
2-point mid range from Ethan Simmons.
So just a few technical difficulties at the start. But we're live now from the Maglio Gymnasium. You were like talking 20 seconds ago in my ear.
Yeah, it's pretty delayed.
Only do audio.
Test. Now I can't hear myself. Test.
Test.
Yeah, we're good.
Alright, we just had a few technical difficulties.
No, that's because he did the mics. Once you muted the mics, now I can hear it fine. Never mind.
We had it unmuted like
Yeah, never mind. I hear myself again.
You good now?
No.
Oh, now unmute. Now mute our YouTube stream.
Oh.
I think we were listening to the broadcast.
We were listening to the broadcast while we were doing that. Wait, can we unmute the mics now? That might be.
No, that should be good.
Alright, fine.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm
good.
fine.
Yeah, so we, for the third time, had a few technical difficulties at the start of this game. But we should be good and should be live now from the Maglio Gymnasium. Just a minute left in the first quarter. St. Joe's leads 24-11 over the Old Bridge Knights. St. Joe's getting some key players back into their lineup. Anthony Williams and Ryan Yarnall played before.
Also saw a little bit of Amari Campbell. But
Yeah.
it seems that they're kind of limiting him as Yarnell comes in a lot for him.
Yeah, but the Falcons take a good lead. They're on a 4-game win streak against Old Bridge. They're 23-3 against them in the past 10 years. So definitely a one-sided battle when these two teams come together, and it's looking like the same tonight.
This is a great way to rebound after losing to Manasquan at a tough one, 56-47.
A nice up and under layup right there by Old Bridge. Starting lineup for the Falcons is Ethan Simmons, Josh Ingram, Christian Magliacano, and Dave Caruso and Owen Griffin. Just 24 seconds on the clock. Simmons with the shot, no good. And Jaden, if you're Old Bridge with such a size difference that there is, what is your game plan on trying to score points and also trying to stop St. Joe's on the other end?
I'm thinking about working picks, trying to force 3-point shots, and oh, that was actually a very good rebound by Owen. If I'm Old Bridge, I'm honestly looking to take more shots and get the size difference, because obviously if you go to the paint, you're gonna have a pretty big defender if you're Old Bridge.
Yeah, definitely. We just saw Ethan Simmons picking the pass off right there too, so it's gonna be a rough game all around. It looks like for the Knights, but St. Joe's up 13 now. 26-13 is the score as we're heading into the second quarter. The Falcons are 3-2 on the year, ranked 11th in New Jersey at the moment. Coach Jan Cocoziello is in his 4th season with a 33-15 record. And St. Joe's is coming off a brutal loss to Manasquan on Saturday, where they took a 9-point deficit in the end, 56-47, against the Falcons in that game. So they're trying to bounce back tonight against Old Bridge. And another storyline of the night, starting shooting guard for the Falcons, Anthony Williams, actually went to Old Bridge his freshman year and then transferred in. So this is sort of a callback game or revenge game for him, as his brother played there when he was a senior and Williams was a freshman.
Yeah, and his brother Sean also transferred out of St. Joe's and went to Old Bridge. He was a freshman year for his first year on varsity at St. Joe's. As we're looking into the second quarter.
The Knights have been moving the ball around a lot. Not trying to get too many one-on-ones. They just keep running the back and forth handoffs as there's a jumper is no good. But Ethan Simmons gets the ball wrestled out of his hands by the Knights, and they drive in. And they'll call a shooting foul.
I mean, even though that did not look good for St. Joe's, I mean, that was some pretty good defense from Kwame Herod. He was getting screened back and forth and able to stay with his man.
Yeah, and he pretty much knocked out the 2 top guys that kept handing the ball off back and forth too, so kind of eliminated those 2 on that possession. First free throw, no good.
Anthony Williams checking back in. That's
Yeah.
more of our lockdown defender here at St. Joe's, and is very good with defending ball carriers.
And the second free throw is up, and it will be good. So 12-point lead now for the Falcons, 26-14. Ethan Simmons doing some work at the perimeter. Williams now with the ball. Simmons, the pass is picked off, and Williams is going to fight for it, and they're called a jump ball. So
Old Bridge possession.
it looks like it's actually going to be St. Joseph's possession with the possession arrow. So the toss up to Kwame, now over to Williams, and Simmons with the mid-range jumper, just good. Simmons put the Falcons up 14. And Ryan Yarnell is going to look to check in at the next dead ball. And Ethan Simmons with the block on the other end. And that's that size difference that we talked about. That's going to be a real problem for Old Bridge as Josh Ingram drains the 3 on the other end.
Josh Ingram, definitely a very good 3-point shooter from behind the arc.
And suddenly that 10-point lead that St. Joe's had turned into a 17-point lead in a matter of just about 30 seconds. Kwame Herod, the forceful handoff over to Williams, the shot by Ethan Simmons, and it drops just like all the others. That's 33-14. St. Joe's leads, 6.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Just a dominant performance by the Falcons.
Ethan Simmons, definitely a great playmaker for the Falcons. Obviously coming into the game, averaging 22 points per game. And I mean, I was talking to him around in the offseason. He said put in a lot of work with his teammates. Also went to the NJ Panthers and was putting in a ton of work. Saw his Instagram stories. He was definitely looking to bounce back, get some hardware this year for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think him and Josh Ingram were actually both playing on that Panthers team, so they might have known they would have had to be the 2 leaders on this team, so they figured they'd get some chemistry out of the schedule first.
Also, we had Ethan Simmons picking up some offers over there this summer. Had offers from Fairfield, Central Connecticut, also Chestnut Hill. Looking forward to seeing where he continues to play basketball for his next 4 years.
And he's arguably been one of, if not the best player in the GMC so far this year.
Most definitely.
As Ethan drives down again, a beautiful pass from Simon over to Williams, and Williams with the go-ahead bucket. St. Joe's quickly turn a 10-point lead into a 22-point lead now. Jumper from Old Bridge is good on the other end. So Old Bridge answers back, and they're going to try and keep doing that if they want any shot at getting back in this game. Simon over to Kwame. Kwame the three, no good. And Old Bridge going to drive down the other side. The layup, wide open layup, is no good. Then a mid-range jumper is also no good, but St. Joe's can't get a defensive rebound. So the Knights are going to work the ball around, looking for that open shot like you said. Seems to be their only shot at scoring some points. It's a great perimeter defense right now by St. Joe's. Been about like a 30-second possession already. The jumper, no good. That was a bullet. There was like no arc on that shot. As Yarnell. Caruso the spin move over to Yarnell. And the three is no good from Ryan Yarnell.
Rebound Kwame Herod.
And Anthony Williams gets the bucket.
Great finishing off of a great dribble move.
Yeah, Kwame Herod is really just one of those guys that does all the dirty work. He puts in the most hustle. He's a great defender. He's a great rebounder for his size.
As he forces a travel right there.
Yeah, he's just he's arguably the most physical player on this St. Joe's team. That's a great personality to have on the court in your point guard. So the Falcons up 21 now, 38-17. Herod now. Around 4:20 left on the clock. St. Joe's taking their time, no shot clock, so they're going to wait for the perfect shot, and Josh Ingram thinks he has it, and he does. The three ball is good for Josh Ingram.
Falcons were passing around for a very long time trying to get the right shot, and Josh Ingram just hits it from three.
And at this rate, the Falcons are looking at scoring over 100 points this game, as there's still 4 minutes left to go in the half, and they're already at 41. Old Bridge desperately trying to get some shots to go down. And that one gets blocked by Josh Ingram. Ingram on the other end. The hop step. And it's going to get knocked out, but that'll remain St. Joe's ball. As the Knights are going to make a substitution. Just about 3.5 minutes left to go. And Jaden, I'll ask you the same question. So 3-point is no good. I'll ask you the same question. Now that you're down 24, is there any different strategy you have, or you just keep trying to hopefully hit those jumpers from beyond the arc?
Honestly, nothing's really working. I'm just trying to get any shots that you could take. Look for an open man, hopefully put up a shot, and I'm just hoping for buckets at this point.
Yeah, there's not much you could do looking at this score. Old Bridge needs to get real hot and real quick. They're trying to get back in this game. The jumper from Old Bridge, that'll be good.
There we go.
It's exactly what they need. It's a three ball too, so 20 points for the Knights in the first half compared to St. Joe's 41. Josh Ingram, yet another three. Air ball by Ingram. It looks like his wrist actually got hit, so possibly a missed shooting foul call. As Ethan Simmons is going to check back in, and Kwame will check out, or Owen Griffin will check out, actually. So number 10 for the Knights is going to be at the line now, trying to get his team back within 20. And he will. So it's a 20-point lead now for the Falcons. Well, it looks like no one, even the shooter, knew that he has 2 shots, so he's going to shoot another. And that one is no good. So Josh Ingram on the other end now. Kwame Herod over to Ingram. Passing the ball back and forth, Yarnall.
Passing the ball, trying to break that 2-3 zone they're running.
Yeah, and that was some great ball movement by the Falcons. Good rebound, too, by Williams, but he gets the ball taken out of his hands, and that's going to be a foul. Called on Olbridge. Looks like the ball carrier threw an elbow. So it'll go right back to the Falcons. Just around 2 minutes left to go in the half. And this looks like to be a real young team, too, for Olbridge.
Yeah, I see already 2 freshmen on the roster that we have here.
Yeah, their 4th leading scorer, Krish Patel, is a freshman, and then Brandon Meadow is maybe their 6th or 7th leading scorer with 5.5 a game. So there could be some promise next year, especially with all these juniors, too, for Olbridge, but doesn't look to be too much. They're going to just a stacked St. Joe's squad this year. Like we said before, ranked 11th in the state of New Jersey by NJ.com. The free throw from Williams, first one is up and good. And the second one will drop too.
St. Joe's full court pressing at this point.
Yeah, it's an interesting play, especially up 22 in the first half. Guess they're really just trying to make this lead grow even larger before they might have to take their starters out in case of injury, as Anthony Williams just smacks that ball. And Josh Ingram with the steal. Anthony Williams goes up. No and one call, but the fast break layup will be good for Anthony Williams. St. Joe's has missed him the past month. But he is back, especially this game. Had 13 points last game. Might have around 8 right now in this game, only in the first half. The bucket for Olbridge will also be good. Ingram over to Yarnall. Yarnall, another missed 3. Ethan Simmons gets up for the rebound, and he'll go to the line. So about a minute left to go in the first half now. St. Joe's sporting a 22-point lead over the Olbridge Knights.
Olbridge definitely a team to look out for in the upcoming years, having such a young team, and also having a GMC Coach of the Year the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, Olbridge has never won a GMC championship. And they're coming off a loss to Piscataway. Last year they went 4-8 in that shortened season, and they lost to Metuchen in their pod play championship, which only consisted of 4 teams, but they did make it to the championship in that, so there's some hope there. That's Olbridge on the other end now. Yarnell.
Got Davey Caruso in the game.
Oof. Yeah, Caruso goes up for the block, but nice pump fake. Olbridge does nothing with it, though. Yeah, and you could just tell that this Olbridge offense is uncomfortable with the aggressiveness that this St. Joe's defense has right now.
Definitely just looking for options and have none, as we have a mid-range jumper for Olbridge.
Josh Ingram now. Deep pass over to Caruso. Over to Ethan Simmons. The deep 3 for Simmons is good.
St. Joe's coming up to 50 points.
50 points in the first half is a new season high for the Falcons. The offense is just clicking today.
Got 10 seconds left.
Don't need to force anything, but Ingram will here. The deep 3, no good. 4 seconds left as Olbridge drives down, and he gets stuffed by Christian Magliacano on the other end, and that's how we're going to end off the half. St. Joe's leads by 25.
Ready?
And we are back live from the Maglio Gymnasium for the second half of St. Joe's versus Old Bridge. St. Joe's currently up 25, make that 22 after a 3 from Old Bridge. And Sakath, I asked Jaden the same question. Is there anything that Old Bridge can do? Oh, I tried talking.
Test.
Test. Nothing?
Go one more time.
Test. So we are back in the second half. Old Bridge making a little bit of a comeback. They were down 25. Now it's 61 to 31.
So yeah, Ben, so far in this game, we've seen St. Joe's offense just go crazy with the three-pointers. They are not missing any of those.
No, they
And I
really
think
aren't.
You could accredit it to Ethan Simmons' playmaking. When he's coming down the court, he's looking for his open teammates, and he's hitting them right away. That's
Yeah.
resulted in some threes for Josh Ingram, some layups for.
Now, if I had to pick a player that's played the best on St. Joe's, obviously it'd be Ethan Simmons. But honestly, this whole team is really coming together in this game. Josh Ingram is hitting shots. Anthony Williams has just about like 10 points right now, and Kwame is just clamping up on defense. So I think like everything is going perfectly right now, I would say, for the Falcons. As they're gonna inbound the ball to Simmons. The lob over to Ingram. Back over to Simmons. Simmons contested 3, and it goes down for Ethan Simmons, who cannot miss tonight.
Yeah, he's just shooting perfectly tonight.
And there was not I wouldn't say a scare, but there was a bit of hesitation from St. Joe's as Old Bridge went up by was only down by 20 when they were down by 25 in the first half. But then Ethan Simmons just went off, and now St. Joe's leads by 30, 64 to 34, with 5.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. So
Yeah, no, Old Bridge. I can't even tell if it's just Old Bridge playing bad or St. Joe's getting their open looks and hitting them. But Old Bridge defense is not getting to those shooters and contesting well, and even if they are,
Yeah, even if they
St.
are.
Joe's is just shooting right over them.
Just like that last one when Ethan Simmons shot it over 2 of their defenders. And honestly, I think it's just the height difference. Just the size difference between these teams is
Like
crucial.
you mentioned earlier, it's a young team still, but still they have no big men.
Yeah,
They are playing with a 5-guard lineup, it looks like.
yeah, they honestly are. Looks like their tallest player might be maybe 6 foot, 6'1", possibly. So yeah, that's always an uphill battle when you have a lineup with that type of height, especially against St. Joe's, like we said, a top 10 team in New Jersey.
Yeah, and Old Bridge is not a bad team by any means still. You know, they beat JP Stevens, who's a pretty decent team this year in the GMC.
Yeah, they're 3-5 this year, which is not the best, but for them it's definitely an improvement or some consistency over the past few years. But that pass goes out, and it's just like, I want to say it's the silly mistakes that are having them down, but honestly, there's been very few of those, and they're still down by 30. So there's not too much more advice that I could try and give this Old Bridge team, other than just play your heart out at this point and almost accept the loss as we get closer to the end of this game. It's
Yeah,
Anthony Williams.
Like you mentioned, Falcons are ranked 11th in the state right now. It
Yeah.
has to be somewhat disheartening for Old Bridge to even come into this game.
Yeah, especially now that St. Joe's is almost fully healthy with their full roster of guys that they were imagining for their dream lineup this year. I mean, this is going to be a tough team to beat. This is a team that barely lost to Bishop R with only maybe 2 of the starters that we have on the court right now. And they barely lost to a very good Bishop R team with multiple recruits, 3-star recruits. So a fully healthy St. Joe's team might be top 7, top 6 team in New Jersey, honestly.
But still, coming into the year, the sentiment around campus was that St. Joe's did not have a dominant inside paint protecting big man
Yeah.
like we'd wish to have. But still, this small ball lineup is almost better in a sense because of the way they're able to get up and down the court.
Yeah, definitely. Just outworking other teams right now. And you talked about that big man down in the paint. They're going to be getting that very soon. I believe January 19th. Darren Tuck, who is the transfer over from Immaculata, will be able to play in just about a week for the Falcons. So that'll most likely be their main big man down in the trenches. Averaged 14 points per game with Immaculata last year. That led the team. And now he'll join a stacked St. Joe's team. As the Old Bridge layup is no good. Rebound by Owen Griffin. Deep pass to Josh Ingram, not on target by Simmon. So it'll go back to Old Bridge. Just around 4:27 left to go on the clock. 69-36 the score.
Ben, I
St.
have to
Joe's
ask
leads.
you, with all these seniors, big seniors, Ethan Simmons and Amari, how do you think the St. Joe's team is gonna function next year? without him?
I think it's going to be a very good team because Kwame Herod, Josh Ingram, Anthony Williams, David Caruso, those are just some of the names that are going to be staying with this team. Owen Griffin, Jeremy DeCaro, Khalid Brown too. So there's going to be some really, really good players left. Obviously, Ethan Simmons, arguably the best player on this team. That's going to be a big loss for the Falcons, but I think they're going to be set up, especially with those players improving over the offseason. So I don't think St. Joe's needs to worry at all, honestly.
And with such a dominant one like this and the rivalry game coming up on Thursday,
Yeah,
it's almost like a big moral boost, more
it really
morale
is.
boost to really help their team, defensively. The shots are falling. If they
Yeah.
bring this into the game on Thursday, especially with East Brunswick already being 2-2, rivalry is it's not gonna be too competitive this year.
Yeah, no, just to get the team going, get the team hot. Obviously, they're going to look to put up like maybe 90, 100 points possibly in this game. So that's a huge morale boost, like you said, going into a rivalry game. A 3 there by Old Bridge is going to be good.
I believe that was Chris Patel, the freshman.
Yeah, it was Krish Patel, their 4th leading scorer. But I know people will say the skill difference, the size difference between East Brunswick and St. Joe's is obviously favoring St. Joe's, and people might think it's going to be a blowout going into the game. missed shot there by Ethan. It's going to be a blowout going into the game. But those rivalry games, you never know. Like even when we had that team 6 or 7 years ago with Carl Towns, Wade Baldwin, Brian Tyree, when we played East Brunswick, they were always down to the wire games just because of how many fans came out for both teams and how much each team invested into those games, knowing it was the biggest rivalry of the year. So I would imagine that game is going to be an incredible one to watch on Thursday.
How do you think Old Bridge responds to a loss like this after such a horrible performance?
I think this is not like you come into this game and you think like this game is going to come down to the wire, but hopefully we pull it out. I think they kind of expected a result like this, especially with their record. Like I said before, the past 10 years, they're 3-23 against the Falcons. So I'm sure they expected a loss. I'm sure they expected a loss this bad. But if you just run your plays right, you run your offense right, you can't get too mad at the defense, especially with the size difference. So I don't think the team should get too down on themselves, especially with how young they are. We've been mentioning that.
Yeah,
So-
and, St. Joe's just put Scott Schmidt in, junior, tallest player on the team. Been injured the past couple of years, but is already making his impact right there down low.
Yeah, and Scott coming in at around 6'10". Yeah, like you said, by far the tallest player on the Falcons. And he's just going to sit in the paint like he should, honestly.
Yeah, he's been sidelined the last couple of years with injuries to the knee, but seems to be moving around pretty well today. Only
Yep.
problem is he's still not that dominant big man that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, no, but he could become that. I know he's been plagued with injuries. He has a knee brace on right now. Just getting him some playing time as the Falcons are up so big. Just to see, like, if he really has it in him to be that number one guy, that number one center, starting center for the Falcons next year. Kwame Herod sprinting with a side fadeaway from the foul line. That's good. 73-42, the Falcons lead. Just about a minute and a half left to go in this third quarter. The three from Old Bridge is no good. And Old Bridge has been actually shooting very well tonight. It's Dave Caruso with a spin move, but he turns it over. Old Bridge on the fast break now. And Khalid Brown
He was coming for that.
gives
that
the
block.
backboard a smack. The layup is good for Old Bridge, but Khalid showing off his athleticism a little bit.
Tim must be hurting after that one.
Yeah, that was a hard hit up there. It's Khalid now with the ball. Scott gonna put in work, and Scott can't get the lay in.
You can see how much this team loves Scott. As soon as he put up this shot, bench stood up, hoping it would go in. But,
Yeah, no, he's just one of those guys for the team that every guy in the locker room loves him. They can't wait till he's on the court. Oh, that shot got up. There was no way Scott wasn't blocking that. So maybe lucky that ball got knocked out. We're gonna have a free throw now for Old Bridge. Score is 73-44 right now. 56 seconds left on the clock. Maybe no free throw. It's just an inbound. They're gonna call a blocking foul on St. Joe's on that. So Old Bridge working the ball around, trying to find that three. Been shooting pretty efficiently. Krish Patel, a deep three. And as I say, they're shooting efficiently. There's an airball three from Old Bridge. Kwame over to Davey Caruso. Shot is no good.
Yeah, with the way it's looking right now, I'd be very surprised if Falcons starters even come back onto the court.
Yeah, I definitely doubt it. I'd just get some of the guys that haven't been playing too much. Maybe a guy like they already got a guy like Scott Schmidt in there, just to see what it can do. As Scott putting in hustle, getting that board right there. Caruso. Khalid goes for the save. It's going to go out of bounds. Old Bridge ball just around 11 seconds in this third quarter. Kwame Herod trying to pick off the inbound pass, but it's going to be a reaching foul on Kwame. Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what this St. Joe's lineup is going to look like the final 3 or 4 minutes of this game. Could see a lot of guys who haven't seen playing time yet this year.
I'd love to see Daniel Bellavia on the court. Hype man.
Yeah, guys like Dan Bellavia, Tim Sullivan, those guys. I think Tim has actually played a little bit this year. I think he put up 5 games in the 1 game he played. That's not too bad for your first ever varsity game.
Yeah, and we haven't seen DeCaro either. He was big in that early in the season. There were a lot of
Yeah.
COVID. So a lot of people out for COVID.
Yeah, guys on the transfer rule, so they're waiting to get back in. DeCaro definitely came up clutch. Hasn't even seen any playing time in this game yet.
Yeah, but when he played well. He played like somewhat. He filled Kwame's role somewhat with the full court defense.
Yeah. He had a couple threes in that very first game against Monroe as well. As the third quarter is going to come to a close, 75-46. St. Joe's leads. 29-point lead right now for the Falcons. And
Yeah,
these,
we were just talking about Kwame. I think he's a little bit underrated on this team. Like, he doesn't put up the points that's really expected of a player of his caliber, but you could just see when he's on the floor how he locks up the other team's point guard. They just can't get around him.
yeah, he almost reminds me of a player in the NBA like Pat Beverly. Just kind of always like outworking the guy he's going against, the lockdown defense, just flying for rebounds, putting his body on the line. I feel like he's kind of like that Pat Bev for the St. Joe's Falcons. And that's a great guy to have in the locker room and on the court especially. And St. Joe's right now is exactly on pace to hit 100 points at 75 at the moment. So do you think that even with all these bench players in for the Falcons that they could actually hit 100 points in this game?
Yeah, I think so. Well, maybe. You don't know. Old Bridge might also start pulling their starters, but I think 100 points is attainable if they were hitting shots like they did in the first quarter.
I feel like that's just like a quiet milestone every team has, just to see 100 up on that scoreboard.
Yeah, that's a confidence booster. Right
Yeah,
there.
that does not happen too often too, especially in high school sports with 8-minute quarters.
Kwame with the ball.
Scott looks to post up,
Top of the key.
loses the ball. There goes Scott driving in. And he goes up, and they're going to call travel on Scott.
Maybe that gets the jitters out, you know? First couple possessions on the court.
Yeah, he was flying down to that rim, man. He was no post up or nothing, just going for that driving layup.
He looked like Stetson Bennett last night, just losing the ball as he runs down the court.
He got it back though, but they did call a travel on him. Khalid Brown now. David Caruso, Khalid Brown, the alley-oop layup. The Caruso and Brown connection.
Yeah, hopefully that's something that carries into next year, you know?
That would be fun to watch. Maybe turn that layup into a dunk, possibly. And Kwame Brown, incredible steal right there.
One more time for Khalid.
Khalid, that's a
Foul
hard
this
foul.
time.
Yeah, I know these players are still trying to give it their all, but you don't want to see guys get too physical, especially in a game like this.
Khalid is also someone who has a lot of potential to unlock. Obviously, he has a big frame.
Yeah.
When he's driving down the court, nobody could really stop him.
No, he might be the most athletic player on this team right now. So if he could just hone in on a few skill things, I think he'd be good to go. And it looks like Yarnall and Bellavia will check into the game as Caruso checks out. So both free throws good for Khalid Brown, 79-46. The Falcons lead, trying to hit that 100-point mark. And Old Bridge also checked in a guy who might be about 6'5", 6'6", so two number 35s in the court right now. We could see him and Scott go head-to-head in the paint. Coach Jan telling Scott to use his hands,
Yeah,
get in their face, pester him.
I think one thing Scott Duffy has to improve over the summer is becoming a little bit more balanced and coordinated. You see when he's shuffling his feet and when he's running up and down the court.
Yeah.
He's not super like confident when he runs. He's really movable, and with size like that, can't go to waste.
It could be tough stamina-wise too, being that big on the court, being 6'10". It could be tough to always keep your arms up. But also Dan Bellavia, we were talking about Scott. Dan Bellavia gets his first points as a varsity player with that drive-in leg. Gets his first rebound as well. As Patel moves down, Yarnall will now drive in. Yarnall, the up and under layup from Ryan Yarnall.
I think that's one of the best layups I've seen so far this year for this team.
That was incredible looking.
That just speaks to his athleticism, you know. He's not a super great shooter, but driving down the court, you know, his athleticism is almost unmatched.
Yeah. No, yeah, he had to stay up there for a while.
Yeah, that hang time is
So it's going to be a out of bounds call on St. Joe's. So
Tim
Like-
Sullivan.
yeah, Tim Sullivan will check in. So 3 juniors on the court: Scott Schmidt, Dan Bellavia, and Tim Sullivan, all out there right now.
Yeah, and it looks like the Falcons are gonna stay conservative here.
Yeah.
Don't want to risk anything, especially with a team like this who could make a good run for states this year.
Definitely. Yeah, and there are 4 players on the court right now who have never seen the game before, so Falcons obviously playing their bench lineup. Tim Sullivan, the only player to have played in a varsity game this year. Scott Schmidt with the rebound.
Now Tim Sullivan. Timeout's called by Old Bridge, it looks like.
Yeah, Tim got locked up, had to pick up the ball against the out of bounds line, so St. Joe's leads 83-46. Just around 4:38 left to go in the game. And 17 points in 4.5 minutes might be tough to hit at this point, especially with the guys that are on the court. Obviously, no offense to them, but just feel like most of the points were gotten in that first half with the full, healthy starting lineup out there.
Yeah, and maybe one more spark by the Falcons offense could take them over, but I think all the adrenaline's out and everything. It's pretty much over.
Talking to Liam right now. What?
This game is so boring.
This game sucked. So a nearly completely new lineup for the Knights. Tim Sullivan with the inbound. Jeremy DeCaro also checking in as Scott Schmidt heads to the bench. Dante over to DeCaro. The shot is up for the Falcons and is no good. Bellavia couldn't get the board. Good ball handling there. Good hustle by DeCaro. Sullivan will get the rebound.
That's Dante Regan, I believe.
Think so, yeah. Bellavia for 3. It's good by Dan Bellavia. Dan now with 5 points in this game in just 1 quarter.
I bet the team loves to see Dan Bellavia score. He's always cheering them on.
Definitely. Yeah, it doesn't see much playing time, but when he gets in there, all the cheers that he gets to give to the rest of the team when they're playing, I'm sure they're giving it to him right now. Tim Sullivan now. The shot up by Dante drains in. And St. Joe's might have a bright future that we're seeing in the making right here as these shots are falling. I know Dan Bellavia is a junior, but I
We might
believe
actually get to the,
I believe Dante's an underclassman. And Bellavia. Looks like a reaching foul maybe or a blocking foul on Dan.
Like you said, that 100-point total is really attainable.
Yeah, 11 points, and there's 2:57 on the clock right now. So that'd be pretty cool to hit. St. Joe's had 75 coming into this quarter. And a few threes later, now they're at 89.
Dan is such a spark plug for this team. Whenever he's on the court, he doesn't give up. He always hustles.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he knows that this is borrowed time right now, so he's definitely making the most of it, trying to impress the coaches out there. And I would say he's doing so. 5 points already. Like we said before, Jeremy DeCaro over to Dan. Dan, another layup is good. Dan Bellavia, 7 points now in just about 5 minutes played. So Dan is definitely making a good impression on Coach Jan, if I had to say so. Got a couple boards as well. Bellavia with the defense. Sullivan guarding the three, air balls, DeCaro for the rebound. And the shot is blocked by Oldbridge on that layup. Yes, like we said, St. Joe's really trying to hit that 100-point mark. 2:08 on the clock. 9 points away. And they're really going to try and hit that.
So Oldbridge still doesn't break 50.
Yeah, Oldbridge has been below 50. They've been around 5 points below 50 for a really long time now. I think they were at 47 with like 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. So it's been a very long time since they've had 3 or more points. Tim Sullivan, the mid-range, gets blocked, maybe fouled. And Tim will get fouled, so Tim shooting a 1-and-1, I believe it is. Trying to get his first points of the game. Like we said, he had 5 points in the other game he played in this season. And that free throw is no good.
And Tim's a guy who, if he gets going, he gets going. But when he's cold, he's cold. And this season hasn't been great for him so far. But I think one good game, and he'll be back to playing really well and shooting really well again.
Oh yeah, I think so too. As St. Joe's really working the ball around right here. Dante gets the ball picked off, but it's tipped out of bounds. It will remain St. Joe's ball. I gotta say, for a group of guys who have not played too much, there's been an impressive amount of points scored with this lineup that they have in. Dante, another three, rims out. That was real close, not too much arc on that. Real bullet towards the rim. Oldbridge just trying to get over 50. Like we said, they've been at 47 or 49 for a real long time, and they will get it. Finally, a three goes in, so Oldbridge at 52 now. St. Joe's looks like they might need a miracle to get to 100. 9 points in just a minute. Might be tough. Another turnover there. The three, no good.
He's been off tonight, and you could tell it's eating him up.
Yeah, definitely in a game like this, arguably the best team Oldbridge will play all year. Oh, the fadeaway jumper. It's going to be no good. The rebound, though. Yeah, it seemed like this lineup that's out here right now got real hot when they first came out. But they've cooled down a lot, haven't scored a bucket in a decent amount of time. They're gonna try and fix that. Only 39 seconds left to go in the game, so not too much you could fix. The first free throw up and no good. Yeah, but I would say overall as a team for St. Joe's, this was a great victory. Obviously, they had a big size advantage and skill advantage, I would say, but just the way they played, and they were hitting shots, and when you're hitting shots, that usually doesn't have to do with the size advantage you have. That's just how well you're playing. And they were shooting very effectively and running a great offense today, so I think it's a great sign for the rest of the season, as Tim Sullivan is just going to dribble the ball out.
Yeah, like you said, this was dominant performance, but definitely was expected coming into this game.
And this is a great win for St. Joe's. Final score will be 91-52. Falcons will win it. I'm Ben Chadwick.